Hi everyone! Today, I'm going to tell you an interesting story about dopamine and our lives. Let's talk about how dopamine affects our lives and how we can make good use of it. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter and is commonly referred to as a source of pleasure. Dopamine regulates pleasure and regulates one-off pleasures, such as appetite and sexual desire. Dopamine is associated with expected rewards and addiction, which works through the abdominal circuit and the dopamine system in the lateral left nucleus. Addiction can be caused by dopamine in the lateral left nucleus. When dopamine is secreted in excess, it is absorbed by the autoreceptor, resulting in a lack of dopamine, which leads to depression and lethargy. On the other hand, the dopamine circuit of the frontal union does not have an autoreceptor, so the excessive amount of dopamine does not cause poisoning. This is the dopamine that comes out when we are immersed. Dopamine from the immersion state maintains a sense of well-being in the long term. It develops the frontal lobe and makes it pursue mental pleasure. Therefore, it is important to activate the frontal coalition dopamine rather than the lateral left nucleus dopamine. It's impossible to stay away from dopamine. Instead, it's a good idea to develop a productive dopamine circuit. Dopamine makes all of these things: motivation and life motivation. Therefore, we must make an effort to develop a productive dopamine circuit and not become a slave of harmful dopamine. Dopamine circuits have differences in barriers. Percutaneous circuit dopamine has a low barrier, and frontal allied dopamine has a high barrier. We have to try to cross this barrier. This allows us to have productive pleasure without any side effects. These efforts should be made from childhood, and education should be designed in this direction. I hope today's story was helpful. Understand and utilize dopamine well to lead a happier and healthier life. See you next time.